You've talked a lot about Jaxson Dart.
I have.
I want to know, is this the right decision right now for the Giants to go to Dart?
It definitely is the right decision.
Okay.
But here's the painful irony for me as a lifelong diehard Dallas Cowboy fan. My point to you guys, and you laughed at me over this, I was scared to death that the Giants would go to Jaxson Dart before their game at Cowboys. My point being that Russ against Washington did look washed in their opening game. And I was scared to death that Jaxson Dart would come in with some of that sort of cocky beginner's luck energy and just ignite them, and he'd have one big moment in the sun at Jerry World. He scares me. Russ didn't scare me at all. And what happened? My defense turned Russell Wilson back into vintage Patrick Mahomes. He throws for 450 and 3 bomb touchdowns against my sorry-ass defense. And it wasn't about Russ cooking. It was about my defense breaking down and getting burned like bad toast gets burned. And that's what we were, just toast all day long. So then what happens on Sunday Night Football against Kansas City, a game that I thought New York had a chance in because the first half ends up 9-6. Russ was just pathetic. He looked washed again, just the way he looked against Washington. And at halftime, it's 9-6 Kansas City, but he was 7 of 13 for 39 yards in the first half with 2 interceptions. The game ends pathetically with a 4th and goal from the 10, and Russ throws it in like the 12th row, like he's throwing it away, and you have a chance to cut it to 22-16. And I think that's when Brian Daboll said, okay, I've seen enough, that's enough. I think that well could be Russell Wilson's last start in the National Football League as he approaches age 37 in November. The point is, Jaxson Dart is going to give them, well, just think about Russ. Think about what's happened to Russ now. He got dumped by Seattle. He got dumped by Denver, who ate $85 million to get rid of him. Then he gets dumped by Pittsburgh. And now he's in the process of being dumped by the New York Football Giants. So this isn't about how great I think Jaxson Dart can be. It's about what Russ no longer is. Like you just have to make the switch now, because for what it's worth, Jaxson Dart, he's got some swagger. He's going to give them new life and new fire. He's got some electricity to him. And he's sort of the quarterback version of Cam Scatterboo. That's how he plays quarterback. He's going to run through brick walls. He's 6'2", 230-ish, and he can run a little bit. He ran 4.6, and yet he runs more strong. They tried to use him in some running packages, which was bizarre, but and he didn't really do much. But the point is, he can bang it. He had 14 rushing touchdowns at Ole Miss. So I just think they need a fresh vibe for their fans, because Russ is just hard to watch unless he could play the Dallas Cowboys every Sunday, and fortunately he can't.
I agree with the decision to start Dart. I didn't want you to throw him in initially from the jump. You start with him. Nah, I think you go with the vet.
Yeah.
You see what you got. Maybe Russ get hot. Maybe you know what I'm saying, can win some games with him. But if you end up 0-3, it's time for a change. You know what I'm saying? So this is what the crowd want. They want Jaxson Dart. You want to give a little spark to the stadium, to your fan base.
Jaxson Dart.
Jaxson Dart. Hey, so
same with Skip. He was joining them.
Hey, you know how Skip? He a Cowboys fan, but he cheering for Jaxson Dart. I don't know, you know. But I think it's time though, man. You give them a shot. You get a fan base what they want, and we'll see. We'll see. I'm not saying I'm the most firm believer in Jaxson Dart, but big game against the Chargers. We'll see.
Yep.
Hard environment to excel in, the Giants, but we'll see.
I like Jaxson Dart. I love Jaxson Dart. I think he has a bright future.
By the way, he started at USC.
He did start at USC, and he's the one that got away. I wish he would have stayed with Cardinal and Gold. Yeah.
Well, he left because Caleb and Lincoln came.
Well,
right?
he left originally because the coaching staff changed, and then he started going to the transfer portal. So then he went to Lane Kiffin at Ole Miss and all that, so it worked out.
He left for the money.
Yeah, he left. Well, we don't know.
I don't know if it was that much money at that point. That was 3 years.
That was kind of a new era with the NIL stuff. But
he started for 3 years for Lane.
Yeah, he did. I like Jaxson Dart. I hate this decision. I do. I don't like it. I worry that this is going to hurt his development. It's going to hurt his future. When they moved up, or they traded up in the draft to go draft Jaxson Dart, It was to draft for their future. It wasn't for week 4 of the season. You have to build the pieces around him before you throw in a rookie quarterback. The offensive line is struggling right now. You have great players on the outside. Sure, you have Malik Nabers, you got other weapons, but the most important thing for a rookie quarterback is to be protected, to have a great offensive line. If you start getting hit all the time early on in your career, your eyes start dropping to that offense line. You're not going through progression. You become a run-first quarterback, and when you scramble, you don't keep your eyes downfield. You're looking to make sure you don't get hit. Good news for them is their right tackle, Illuminor. He played better against the Chiefs. He looked good. And then Andrew Thomas came back at left tackle. That's a big thing for him. But the bad news is that he went out in the second quarter, and he didn't finish. And then Marcus Bowe came in, rookie 5th rounder at left tackle. That's another recipe for disaster, is to have a rookie left tackle in your rookie quarterback's first start. That's not going to work out. But my biggest issue with it right now is the timing. If you look at that schedule, this is, in my opinion, the worst time to throw him in there. You play the Chargers, right? Then you get, and that defense right now under Jesse Minter is the real deal. Then you play the Saints. Wait one more week, maybe start in that game. But even after that, you go Eagles, Broncos, Eagles, 49ers. All very good defenses with a team that's not very talented right now, and your run game is struggling. You're averaging under 100 yards per game in the run game. You got to have a good run game to help your quarterback out. I don't like it. I love Jaxson Dart. I think it's going to be a spark for the fans. I just wish they would have left Russell Wilson in a little bit longer, let him develop. This just has Daniel Jones written all over it again. I'm not saying they're the same type of guy, but it's a similar situation to where you have a former Super Bowl winning quarterback. You had Eli Manning, Russell Wilson. Then you bring in Daniel Jones in week 3. Bring in Jaxson Dart in week 4. If this doesn't work out for Brian Daboll, then he's going to be gone, and now you have a new head coach come in that's like, okay, well, Dart's not my guy. I didn't draft him if it doesn't work out. This just feels like a desperation move by Brian Daboll and Joe Shane. I get it. They want to keep their jobs, but I just worry that it's at the cost of Jaxson Dart.
But you know what? If Jaxson Dart is him, if he's real, if he's legit, if they pick the right guy, he'll figure this out.
I don't disagree that he's legit. It's just so important with fit and system and timing and everything and the guys around you and the pieces around you. Jaxson Dart's a hell of a football player. I'm not saying he's going to come in and have a couple drives where you go, okay, this guy's the real deal. I just worry about sustaining that success. Yep. And now you're going up against the Chargers in your first game, and then you get the Saints, but then you go defending champs, Broncos, defending champs again, and then you go the 49ers against Robert Saleh on that defense. I know they have some injuries with Nick Bosa, but you got Fred Warner, some other pieces there. I worry about the timing of it all.
Yeah, you brought up a good point as far as desperation, right?
Yeah.
And that's what I was going to lead with, and I think that plays a big part of it, but I think I'm with Skip and Akib. There's no perfect time to throw him in there. I think, obviously, you know what you got in Russ. He'll be on the sideline if you need him, but they picked him that high for a reason. He's going to bring the spark, live arm, some moxie out there. I feel like it's a good move. The best experience is learning and being out there and actually doing it. So let's just see what happens. I feel like the fans want it. The coaches, as far as the desperation part of it, got to get them out there just to see what we got, and it'll be interesting to see for sure.
So remember, they traded up from 34 to 25.
They gave up a couple picks
Dart. And when they traded up, silly me, I thought they were trading up for Shedeur. Now, I'll say it again. Shedeur should have gone to Tennessee #1 overall. That's just me. I know you don't agree, but
I don't disagree with Shedeur being a first rounder. I disagreed with him not going to Baltimore, but I'm with you. I think he should have been a first rounder.
But the point was, as soon as they traded up, I said, they got Shedeur. Way to go. And Shedeur will be way better if he ever gets his shot. We're about to talk about this.
Yeah.
But if he ever gets a shot, he'll be way better than Jaxson Dart. But Jaxson Dart, I watched him a lot, especially last year at Ole Miss. He's got some stuff to him. Like he ain't afraid, and he's got some athletic ability. I'm not saying he's Lamar, but he can move around and make things happen with legs. He had 14 rushing touchdowns at Ole Miss. Okay, so he'll light the fire, and he was also, this is the key for any of these young quarterbacks, he was deadly accurate at Ole Miss because he led the nation in completion percentage last year at Ole Miss.
Especially down the field, too.
All right, so you say, okay, you got that and that. Let's see. Was I shocked they took him at 25 because I thought he'd be like a second rounder? I was shocked. But when you stake your claim on somebody and you trade up, it cost them a couple of thirds. But whatever. But when you say he's it, he is him, then you might as well just close your eyes and throw him into the fire. And it's a hot fire. It's Jesse Minder fire.
Yeah.
That probably won't be real pretty. They'll probably make him look pretty silly at times. But again, you know, he played in the preseason. You laughed when I brought up the preseason because you said nobody shows nothing in the preseason, right? Just plain straight vanilla, right?
Straight vanilla.
But he looked good in the preseason, and he ignited the offense when he played. And, you know, he's a try-hard guy. He's like Scatterboo is just, you know, playing crazy. He's going to do some things that will get the crowd fired up. Well, you might as well, at 0-3, just see what you got. You know, see it, because you'll know right away if he's right or wrong. You'll just know, because they get exposed fast. If you can't play, even Peyton, when he was a rookie, they threw him right in the fire, and he led the league in interceptions.
Mm-hmm.
But you could just see the flashes, and you'd say, oh, okay, you know, he's going to be fine.
Mm-hmm.
So you figure it out.
Yeah, and I don't disagree with that. I think Jaxson Dart's going to be, I thought the Steelers were going to take him at 21. I had Jaxson Dart with the first-round grade.
Did you?
I thought I thought he would fit well in that Arthur Smith offense. I didn't think they knew what they were going to do with Aaron Rodgers yet, so I thought that could be a possibility, because their next pick for the Steelers wasn't until 83 in the draft. So I thought they had to address the quarterback situation early, and I like Dart there. I'm not saying Dart can't go in this game and show some sparks and show some flashes and play well, and even against Jesse Minter in this Chargers defense, he's not going to, I expect him to have some big plays. You're just at a disadvantage when you don't have the roster around you yet to compete. When you go in there with an offensive line that's struggling and are giving up some big hits, and you got the run game that's non-existent right now. I mean, they're averaging less than 100 yards per game. Your quarterback, the quarterback's best friend, especially as a young player, is the run game. That takes that pressure off of you. Then that opens up the pass game. They just don't have those pieces yet. I don't see anything wrong with it. Unless you're Brian Dable and you're Joe Shane. I know Giants fans want that spark, but I'm talking about longevity here and the future for him. I see nothing wrong with them sitting. I mean, throw Jameis in there. Let's go ahead, and I know he's the emergency quarterback right now, but let's take Russ off of that, put him as the emergency quarterback, throw Jameis in there and let him get some reps in before you just immediately go to the rookie. And I know we're talking about future here, but that's 2026, 2027, or even at the end of the year. That's not week 4 of the regular season when you're 0-3 and you're getting ready to go face one of the best defenses in the NFL. I just don't think it's a recipe for success.
Okay. We're not thinking 2026,
no,
2027.
that's the point. That's why I say desperation, man.
This was a guy who he saw him. He saw what he did in college. He liked what he saw. That's why they picked him. He said, oh, I could work with this guy. So you start with the vet. The vet not getting it done. I mean, let's go with the young guy. I think he got some little moxie to him. Let's put him in. So, I mean, I think it's perfect timing, man.
Okay, so do you guys now agree Russ is cooked? Like done?
I don't.
As a starter, I think so.
But he can't be somebody's backup,
Yeah.
I think.
I mean, but you just told us about the Giants line, right?
Yeah.
You just told us. I mean, so Russ is Russ, man. I feel like you whoever the best team in the league right now, whoever got the best O-line in the league, you put him in with Detroit, he gonna look solid. He gonna run the ball good, he gonna play action, throw the ball good. It just matters where you ends up, man. You know what I'm saying? It's just, unfortunately, he's with that Giants line right now, so that's the rush you're going to get is a Giants O-line, Russell Wilson. So that's what it is.
I'll feel a lot better if Andrew Thomas plays at left tackle in this game, though.
Yeah.
Instead of going with
You got to
Bo,
give us
the
more than a
rookie.
quarter now.
The rookie, yeah, he got to. Yeah, I just look. I come from experience in this situation. When I got thrown in my week 3 of the season in Cleveland, and I was told going into that year that this is a quote unquote NFL redshirt year for you. And you know, RG3 was a starter, Josh McCown was number 2. Learn from those guys and then eventually get your shot.
Coach?
Hugh Jackson. Hugh Jackson was that coach. But mine was more injury-based. RG3, I think, broke his left collarbone week 1. Josh McCown breaks his other collarbone week 2. So I'm getting the start against Miami. And it was kind of, I got forced into that situation. But, you know, the pieces weren't there yet. We had a couple rookie offensive linemen. You know, Terrell Pryor loved TP, but he was our starting wide receiver.
Yeah.
Obviously, Malik Nabers in a different category than TP. But just the pieces weren't there yet, and you're at a disadvantage even if you can play. And I had some decent games, but it was tough because the other defenses had better players, and we couldn't keep up scoring with some of these opposing offenses. And no matter how good I played, it just felt like we were always behind the 8 ball, and we couldn't keep up. And I just worry about hurting Dart's confidence right now because it's a desperation move by Brian Dable, and you're not giving him the best chance for success in the future.
I think that's a big point, the psychological part of it. Once you throw him in there, ain't no turning back.
Yeah.
So that's one aspect that they're going to have to deal with because it goes from upside first, right? He's on the sideline watching Russ do his thing and cook, but it goes from like upside and expectation to production. And can he lead this offense? And do the guys respect him, which I'm pretty sure they wouldn't be making this decision if his teammates didn't respect him, but just it's going to be a lot of pressure, right, to win these games. And now he's going to be looked at as the guy, like, to see if he can save us. And it's especially being drafted that high. So it'll be interesting to see how he handles it all. And I'm pretty sure that the coaches have probably seen something in practice that gives them confidence to put him out there too. Obviously, we mentioned Jameis, right? You know, they get to see Jameis, Russ, you know, they get to see them all in practice and see what they can do. And I think that from a coach's standpoint, if you're just going to throw the rookie in there, he must be showing flashes in practice. They believe that he can go out there and get the job done.
And that's a good point. You can't go back. You can, but if you
there's no law.
If you start, I know, but if you start him, he goes in there and he plays bad, and then you go, shit, never mind. You're not the guy we thought you were.
They did it
Let's
with
go on the bench.
Carolina. Hey, he done it.
Yeah, no, they did, but and it's paying off a little bit right now, but that's tough to overcome. Not everybody has that mentality. It's a killer when you go out there. They say, all right, never mind, bench you, and then you've got to find that confidence again at the same place. If you go somewhere else, like Daniel Jones, maybe you can get a spark, but that's tough to do. And
that's the thing about the NFL, man. You get picked where you get picked.
Yeah.
Your teammates are your teammates. When you get your opportunity, you better perform. Like DBs don't get to say, well, I got picked and my D-line wasn't the best, so that's why I gave up a couple touchdowns. And they was holding the ball. Like, we don't get to make those decisions, bro. We got an NFL life too. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, quarterback, running back, DB, wherever you end up at, when you get that op, you better take advantage of that shit, or you're going to be frowned upon. Nobody wants to hear about the circumstances. It's the NFL, brother. You be the difference. How about that?
No, I agree. And look, I want Jaxson Dart to succeed. I'm rooting for him. I really hope he goes out there and balls out, shows that he can be a legit player in the NFL. My biggest thing is just the timing of it and the circumstances and not allowing him to develop the right way. But obviously, like you said, they're with him in practice. They know more than I do. I'm a little worried about that part of it.
I ain't really like Jaxson Dart in college. I ain't gonna lie. Not that I didn't like him, but he wasn't a guy who I was like paying a lot of attention to. I paid attention to Shador, the guys, Cam, even Dylan Gabriel. You know what I'm saying? They in the playoffs, winning games. He looked good at Oregon, man. He looked solid. Ohio State. What's Ohio State QB?
Yeah.
I'm surprised he don't get more love, man.
Will Howard?
Will Howard. I'm surprised he don't get more love.
Yeah.
He was a big time run the ball, throw the ball downfield, win games. You know what I'm saying? I thought he was going to be a second round pick or a higher pick than he was. So I don't know. He just wasn't really on my radar. And, you know, I do my fair share of studying QBs, man. And
you do.
We'll see. We'll see.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if you're going to be the quarterback of a team, you got to be mentally strong. So they're going to throw him in the fire, but if you're going to lead your team, you got to be. So we're going to find out how he performs. Okay, let's talk about another quarterback though that